We might have saw him against Indiana if that duel got close, but he's back, and this is a rematch of last year, which was a close match.
Tracy Hubbard, his counterpart for Central Michigan, a redshirt senior from Macomb. He is 14-13. Amine, an incredible pin in overtime against Ohio State the last time we've seen him, but hey.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean, I rarely get out of my seat, but man, I think I almost ran on the mat. It just shows you the heart in a guy like, Cam Amine, and obviously speaking from the family that, I think he holds a lot, just being, your last name Amine, what that truly means, just a battle to the very end. And I think my dad and his dad, and God bless my grandfather who passed away in 2017, that instilled in us just to win, lose, or draw, fight to the very end. And I think we saw that against a guy, Carson Karslava. We know his dad very well, trained us actually in Ohio. That is definitely a guy that I think hopefully eventually it will be those two guys in the national finals, which would be awesome to see. But
how difficult is it when you're in Cam's situation? You want to come back. It's not a season-ending type of an injury, but you have to think about the big picture.
Yeah, you got to be careful, and I think the knee injury is not that serious. I think it's one that was just kind of precautionary. Again, I spoke up about it earlier in the duel. You got to be smart, but you're just going to have to wrestle through injuries at the end of the year. Everybody's beat up. It just, again, it's going to come down to who wants it more and heart. I mean, a guy like Austin O'Connor, you've seen the success he's had healthy this year. Last year, his shoulders messed up, elbows messed up, knees are messed up, and able to be an All-American was truly remarkable, and didn't really get a lot of spotlight last year. Shout out to Austin O'Connor of North Carolina. But if you're a guy like Cam Amine who just recently got injured, I think for you, just get back in your groove. Don't have to do anything crazy. Just get some momentum going in that Big Ten tournament. Only guy that's beaten him this year that's starting is Alex Facundo, which they've had a history of. So, but wins over Hamidi, win over Carson Karchla. I think he's got a good chance to be the #1 seed at the Big Ten tournament.
Final minute of this first period. These two still trying to feel things out early on.
Yeah, and Cam, I think, is probably the best wrestler in the neutral position at 165 in the country. I think where he really needs to step it up is in that top-bottom position, and I think that's the difference. That's a stall call there on Hubbard. I think that's the difference for him to, beating a guy like David Carr and Keegan O'Toole and losing to a guy like them is the top and bottom position. I think on the feet, he can wrestle with Miles
sure.
and these top wrestlers. I think it's on the mat where he's really going to have to work to get to that national title goal that I know is a goal of his. So
after the stalling call, final moments of this first period. An aggressive look
so
from Hubbard.
To score. Straight on double. You're going to have to try a little bit more than that to take him down. And that's with a knee injury. So.
Yeah. And you see that wrap on that right knee as we are scoreless through the first period.
So he's been working on top. I've been popping in and out of the room by the guy named Alex Derringer, who many people may know, 3-time national champ, Hodge Trophy winner. So shout out to Alex Derringer. I think helping Cam work in the top position, and maybe we'll see some of that later in this match. But having a guy like him in the room is awesome.
And he talked about Cam Amine's great work in this neutral battle. Well, he got there in about 2 seconds to get the first point.
Well, you can see it's already been helping. I think maybe that knee injury is a blessing in disguise to maybe slow down some technique and work those areas that he really needs to work in. Yeah, I think I'm excited for this third period. I think that's, nice shot. I think that's maybe not that many people are like, I'm excited to see top-bottom wrestling, but I think I'm really excited to see how this third period goes is probably Hubbard's going to take that bottom position and see really where Cam Amine's been working.
I mean, great idea of where this match has gone so far.
Yeah.
1 second of ride time.
Well, that was probably
I don't know where that was.
I didn't even see it happen. But, yeah, again, for Cam, I think he's going to want to open up these matches. Had a lot of close matches. Hamidi came down to the very end. Caleb Fish came down to the very end. Definitely capable of nice snap and go there, but definitely capable of opening up these matches. I think it's going to be that top position. Not necessarily from scoring points, but I think wearing guys out and maybe, getting some riding time and open up those matches.
You talk about how difficult it is to score on Cameron Amine. I mean,
well, it's not easy to score on Tracy Hubbard.
No,
either.
it's not. No, 100%. But you've seen a couple times where it's been lightning quick.
Yeah, love it, love it. I think Love It and Hubbard are probably the most two. And I got to give a shout out to Corbin Munson. 3 guys that are really, really tough to score on from the Central lineup.
This is kind of the heart of what they can do, Central Michigan.
Oh, this is the heart.
49 to 65.
Exactly.
Even 74 with Alex Kramer.
Yeah, it's an onslaught of guys, you know. So I think, you know, Hubbard, for him, this is right where he wants to be. You know, 1-0, got a chance to get an escape in that third period, and we'll see where Cameron Amine really has grown in the top position right here, as we'll go down to the third period now.
Now Hubbard, on Friday against Michigan State, he was ridden out the entire second period by the Spartans' Caleb Fish. So that's something to watch for here with now Hubbard in that bottom position.
Yep. So we'll see where he's been working. Yep, that double pry. Well, there it is. That's that Derringer double pry. He's got to be. And he
gets out of it.
Yeah. But that double pry has been super successful, I think, for a guy like Derringer. But Cam's got a little way to go to mimic that.
So assess what you've seen from Amine here. First time back in a few weeks. What have you seen so far?
I think he looks good. I think for having a knee injury, I think he looks super explosive. You know, maybe a little bit timid right there in the top position. Kind of got, I think, off put by that switch. But this is definitely where he wants to be, is back on his feet where he's comfortable. But he's going to have to get really uncomfortable in that top position if he wants to beat guys like Keegan O'Toole, David Carr, you know, Alex Facundo. You know, I think, you know, those matches are going to be won in the top position. Especially, he might be able to get 30 seconds of riding time, but then he's back to his feet where, you know, a guy gets out in 2 seconds and didn't waste any energy. So, I mean, this is a historical repeat of what happened last year, literally. So
a minute left in the third period. Who will try to be the aggressor first here in what's been largely a stalemate?
Well, I think Cam's probably going to be the aggressor here. It really looks like he's pushing the pace. And I think Hubbard's actually been warned for stalling as well. So Cam Amine really nothing to lose here.
Yeah, that happened late in that first period.
Nice shot.
Goes for it.
Double.
And he's got the takedown.
Yeah. Well, this is important for Cam. I think, yep, as his dad is yelling behind me, keep him down. I think we all want to see him keep him down. I think he's got to look for that double pry right off the whistle.
20 seconds left, and that likely the clincher. Heck of a job by Cam Amine.
This is an important 20 seconds for Cameron. I think holding him down is a huge confidence booster. He has it in him, especially when he's tired, to get that hard ride out. So, and a slip right there. Yeah, beautiful double leg, but I'll take him against anybody in the country on the feet. The area of concern for me is in this top position where Hubbard not going to fool him this time. But, yeah, that switch, and he's got to be careful. But not, hey, able to wrestle through there.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't think I've ever seen that one before, Bryan.
Wow.
That was like a...
Hey, desperate times call for desperate measures.
I mean, we saw what happened to Karshland when he tried that. He's lucky he didn't get stuck there. Yeah, I think Cameron was a little bit stunned right there, but he's going to try that switch again. Nice.
Look at that to cap it off. Welcome back, Cameron Amine.
Yeah.
A well-earned 3-1 victory.
Well, I think I was lost for words in that match. I mean, I think he tried to do that Granby suicide roll, and I think Cam had such a weird reaction to it that he almost ended up behind him, which would have been a tie score.
Now we go to 184. Ben Cushman against the grad transfer from Duke, Matt Finesilver, number 8 at 184.
Yeah, Matt Finesilver, one of 400 Finesilvers. But I think the Finesilvers have been a Duke family, and finally he's the maverick of the Finesilvers going to Michigan. But super happy to have a guy like, Matt Finesilver around. Great for the culture, sticking around to wrestle for Israel.
Yep.
And the Cliff Keen Wrestling Club, so it's not the last we'll hear of him after this season.
He also wants to start a business, too.
Yeah, I mean,
bright future ahead.
They breathe success. I mean, knowing his brother Mitch pretty well, been doing really, really well. European medalist, obviously, on the senior level. I think, honestly, in my opinion, should have been an Olympian. I watched the match against, Ukraine, which he's a match away from being an Olympian. So, I mean, a family that's just credentialed to a T. So, you know, Matt Finesilver looking to add to that and finally get through to being All-American. Been so close so many times, his brother Josh as well. It's just, I think for him, he's one of the guys on Michigan that is kind of on that, I'd say, on that edge of being, you know, is he going to make it into that top 5? I think he's definitely, if he wrestles the best he can, a top 8. But can he break, you know, the NCAA semifinals? Can he get into the finals? You know, I think a guy like him could surprise a lot of people. He's just, you know, closing a match with Caleb Ramiro that was very, I think it was 9-4 earlier in the season, then a takedown match here at Cliff Keen's or at Chrysler Arena. So Matt Finesilver definitely, I think, catching some steam at the end of the year too.
About a minute in, Cushman, he lost against Michigan State 7-4. Fell behind early, tried to rally to no avail. Finesilver 19-5 in this his first go around at U of M.
Yeah, and those 5 losses are to studs.
Yep.
I think Matt doesn't let himself get out of position very often. I don't think he has very many bad losses in his career, just to let alone at Michigan. And I think what makes him really good is wrestling in his top position where he just punishes guys. And I think that's going to be huge for him at that national and Big Ten tournament, is especially in these, you know, matches, like I said earlier in the day, you know, the quarterfinals, semifinals, when you're really not at your best. And a guy like Matt Finesilver, you know, gets in that top position and just wrenches on you. It can definitely change the course of the match. But if you're Matt Finesilver 0-0 match, this definitely isn't the worst outcome for you going into that second period.
No. Almost 2 minutes into this first period.
1 minute, Matt, 1 minute.
Yeah, and the Finesilvers are guys on your team that you definitely want to have. I think, you know, outstanding gentlemen off the mat and on the mat. Definitely a good guy to have in the room. Super positive. Love being around the guy. So that's going to be great to still have him around at Cliff Keen Wrestling Club.
Yeah, I mean, the impact he's made on this program in his only season up here, truly incredible.
Yeah, and I think he's convinced a lot of the, nice shot there. I think
he gets the takedown late in this first period.
He's been a strong supporter of the mustache.
Yes.
As well, more importantly. But we've seen he convert some Wolverines. You see a few in the lineup, obviously me as well. But yeah, this is definitely his strong suit, is his top position. And I think he's I'd say the key of wrestling is not a nice sport where I think he punishes a lot of guys with that Turk position.
And you talk about his excellent work up top, trying to prevent the escape in the final moments of this first period. And now Cushman, he's got no chance. Almost 40 seconds of riding time and a 2-0 advantage for Matt Finesilver.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I ate my words. I said we'll see who takes top or bottom first. So Matt Finesilver's probably going to get choice in that third, Cushman's going to get choice in that third period. I highly doubt he's going to pick bottom, but.
And Finesilver,
back to his feet.
Quick. It's 3-0 in favor of Finesilver. Finesilver grew up in Colorado, then went to Duke. 3-time NCAA qualifier at 174 while Blue Devil.
Oh, good
Cushman.
shot. Cushman.
Fighting around the edge of the mat.
I don't know. That might have been a takedown there, Bryan.
Really close. Central Michigan will throw the brick.
Exactly. I think he hit the hip. I think just unassuming reattack right there.
And that was pretty instantaneous from the veteran head coach Tom Borelli. 32nd year head coach.
I got my Uncle Sam sitting behind me, and I think he's right after that shot. I think if you're going to challenge a takedown, it's going to be a locked hands as well, but we'll see the review.
And at this stage, down 3-0. If you are close, you got to throw that brick there. As you get a look at head coach Sean Bourmet. Done a tremendous job at Michigan his 5th season.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting position to look at. Wrestling has gotten more complex over the years, but I think what the referees are looking at, they're going to look at a takedown. I think why they're reviewing it for such a long time is there's probably going to be another locked hands call at the end, but we'll see what the call is on the mat. But again, I think my Uncle Sam sitting behind me was yelling locked hands as well, because if he's going to get that takedown, I think the first initial rear standing position. He did have his hands locked, but if his hands did touch the mat, he would have control. So I guess there's a point there, but we'll see how far they review it. Because that's not in favor of Cushman. He does. If there's no takedown on the mat, how is he gonna he's unlock his hands? So it's gonna be an interesting call. This is the one thing I really disagree with a lot in wrestling is some of these. It's hard to get people to watch the sport where there's so many subjective calls on the mat. But if I were making the rules, it'd be a little bit different. But there's gonna be no takedown. So
okay.
Wow. Yeah.
So a big pivot point in this battle between Finesilver and Cushman.
I think
Still
it was
3-0.
one of those that they were unfolding. You're like, well, what's going on here? I think we just waved this one off. Let these guys wrestle.
Finesilver with the early advantage.
Yeah, that was an unassuming rig attack there by Cushman. I think it just caught Finesilver off guard. But we'll see if he can chain another one together. And he's down 3-0. I think he's gonna have selection in the third period. We'll see if he goes down or not. I think coaching decision-wise, you're probably gonna want to score on the feet. I think Finesilver's best position is gonna be in the top position. So Cushman's probably gonna have to get a takedown here if he really wants to be close in this match.
Cushman 13 and 17 on the year.
30 seconds.
I think
He's
a lot
lost 5 of his last 6,
Yeah.
including Friday night.
It's just, I think the schedule that Central has had this year has just been grueling.
Yep.
A lot of these records we see is definitely not, a speaking of the credibility of a lot of these wrestlers. But
yeah, I mean, they started 0-5, and a lot of that was non-league opponents.
Yeah, I think Central's schedule this year has just been grueling. So I think a lot of these guys are going to have a lot to prove at this MAC tournament coming up.
Final moments of this second period. And that
we'll see what
holding
happens
of the
here.
no takedown call, a big thing here.
This is interesting. Borelli wants him to go under Finesilver. We'll see what the outcome is this. It's usually not good. But yeah, but I think it's his only shot. I think if he's going to be in this match, he gets an escape. He's a takedown match. But they doomed by that first takedown.
And Finesilver
back to his feet.
Trying to trip him.
He's so good from there. You got to wonder how many times you really want to come to your feet if you got that leg in.
And Finesilver, just love how he snaps right back to the center of the mat.
Yeah. I think he's excited that Cushman picked bottom. He seems overjoyed, but he got a caution there. But
so the false start on Cushman.
Yeah,
he knows how
I know
urgent
that
this
feeling,
situation
man.
is.
I know that feeling. I was pretty tough on top. I think I was a lot better on top than I was on my feet. But getting that feeling, saying, yeah, I get to ride for 3 minutes or 2 minutes. It's an exciting feeling. And he looks for some near fall, and that's his strength right there, man.
I mean, that was lightning quick, and now Finesilver in a very advantageous position.
Yeah, he's like Bruce Lee, like water, man. This guy's this is his best position. I think watching him wrestle here as he got that cradle locked up. Beautiful
Look
cradle
out here
there by Finesilver. Oh, quick 2 count.
They give him 2.
That's a technique that is stolen from a guy by the name of Ed Ruth, who used to kill people from that position, that leg in, that cross-body cradle.
So now from a really close battle to potentially a major in the offing because the riding time is dominated by Finesilver.
Yeah, he's a kid in a candy store right now, man. I think when you get the best position, kind of like Cam Amine being in that neutral position, really comfortable. I think Matt Finesilver lives and breathes in this top position, and he's going to get some bonus points, I think.
Trying to get it again.
Yeah, he's just so tough here, man. And this is going to be huge for him going into this Big Ten tournament. I think this is where he's just really strong, and it's almost tough to watch.
Just dominant in this third period. 4
9-4.
more. It's a major decision right now, but Finesilver might be looking for more.
Yeah, he's hungry. I think he's looking for a fall here. This goes for that bent leg, Rutherford Turk there. Yeah, he's just so fluid. I think what makes him so special is he can ride both legs, which is super hard to defend from bottom position.
10 seconds. Finesilver.
Yeah. you wonder the coaching decision. You know, he's seen the capability of a guy like Matt Finesilver. Why not try to win it on the feet? Beautiful shot there at the edge. Obviously wasn't called a takedown, but you kind of want to question that coaching decision and giving, you know, Cushman a chance to win that match. But I guess you're not disappointed if you're Matt Finesilver when a guy chooses down.
No. 20th win this season, number 99 here on Finesilver's senior day. And that was dominant in the third period. 7 points right there to take it 10-0 over Ben Cushman. And just an incredible effort from Finesilver.
Dominant win by Matt Finesilver, and that's the Matt Finesilver you want to see. Clicking on all levels. Didn't get discouraged after, you know, I guess an up-in-the-air takedown and Master of Funks, I'm going, but now we're on to heavyweight.
Here we go.
Watch the scene.
Mason Parris on his senior day against the redshirt freshman Bryan Caves. And 2 already for Parris.
Yeah, you want to watch Mason. I think I'm praying we get a full 7 minutes of wrestling, and just such an awesome guy to watch, man. I can't speak enough good things about Mason Parris.
24-0.
Yeah.
15 bonus wins. Already up 4-1 here.
Hodge Trophy is not the question.
Nope.
So, yeah. Watching him wrestle, I think it was my senior year, 2019, pulled him out of his red shirt, and I mean, had some major 2 big wins over the, you know, Amar Desi of Oregon State, who was the #1. And I'm like, man, this guy's going to be a force. And just has been stopped by a guy, I think a lot of people know, Gable Stevenson, that has just been, again, you get 2 once-in-a-generation wrestlers. It just happens to be that they're in the Big Ten, in the Nationals, and the same, you know, I think Gable obviously is graduated now, but at the same time, and I think this is Mason's best shot to finally get that national title that he's been, you know, yearning for all these years.
He was the NCAA runner-up back in 2021. But he's #1 right now, and he's got his 3rd takedown in the first minute 15 of this first period.
And I think a lot of these guys, you know, go to, you know, we see across the bench, Amir Rad, super successful weight trainer, and I think seeing a difference between Mason last year and this year, I think put a lot of weight on, and I think a lot of force, and I think we saw that against Greg Kirkfleet and Tony Cassiope, where he just powered these guys over and looking a little more like his old self. Looked a little slow last year. I think, you know, had that neck injury where he was out. So I think this is the full force of Mason Parris we really get to see, and I think is at his best that I've seen throughout his career. So I think I'm just taking it all in as a Michigan wrestling fan.
Incredible.
And
now for Central Michigan, there's high hopes for Bryan Caves, who replaced the 5-time MAC champ and Matt Stenzel, who's now on the staff for Central Michigan. Now, this is going to be a tough putt for him, obviously.
Well, when you got a guy like Matt Stenzel in the room every day, you're just going to get better.
No doubt.
And I think Matt Stenzel and Mason Parris, he's one of the guys that ped Mason Parris, so the guy's no slouch. And
no doubt.
I think also an All-American, and I think if you're a guy like Bryan Caves, you get to work with Stenzel every day, you're just going to get tough. So, again, he's got nothing to lose. I think he's going to have a successful career at Central Michigan and get a lot better over the years under a guy like Matt Stenzel.
4th takedown for Parris. Final 30 seconds of this first period, trying to keep him down. Ride time already at 100 seconds. This is as it normally goes for Mason Parris. And looks like he's going to try to ride out this final 7-8 seconds.
I think the question is for Central Michigan is after Borelli leaves or retires, who's going to be that next coach in line? You know, son Jason spent some time at Stanford and now is coaching at American. You know, Ben Bennett, the assistant, next guy in line. But we'll see. There's a lot of successful Central wrestlers at different programs, and we'll see who's going to be the next guy to step in those shoes. So definitely super excited to see who replaces, you know, the legend Tom Borelli at Central Michigan.
Yeah, been an incredible run. His first season was back in 1991.
Yeah,
just remarkable.
I mean, super. Getting to know the Borelli family, a lot of respect for those guys. I think live and breathe wrestling. To go into, I'd say, you know, a school like Central Michigan where you're not going to get the guys that go to Michigan State, Big Ten wrestlers, but you're going to get maybe the guys that were overlooked in high school, and what he's been able to do with that program over the years, unbelievable. I mean, producing guys like Ben Bennett, Justin Oliver, I think, you know, Matt Stenzel. It's honestly admirable, and it's going to be sad to see him go. But I think he's definitely spent a lot of time at Central Michigan in developing that program.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer. Now it's 11-3 You can hear it in the crowd here. Everybody is taking in
Yeah.
senior day with Mason Parris.
I think everyone's just breathing it in right now. Usually the crowd's up and on their feet, but seeing Mason Parris one last time in Chrysler Arena, well, obviously we're going to see it again at the Big Ten tournament, so I misspoke, but in a dual meet, we'll see. I mean, it's just super admirable to watch Mason Parris grow and, develop over these years, and obviously has big aspirations. Is a All-American student and all-academic student. Once he gets another takedown here.
Two more.
All-academic student, has a chance to, be in the WWE. I mean, this guy's got options. If anybody has options, and wants to add a national title and Olympic gold medal to his belt, and another guy that could have probably played in the NFL. So, but just putting it on Caves here, 13-4 lead.
Yeah, thinking tech fall here.
Yeah.
Up by 9. Late stages of this second period.
I think what really impressed me about Mason was at Iowa this year where, got in a pretty funky, weird position, gave up a takedown, and that match got really close, but able to dig deep and score at the end to beat a guy like Tony Cassiopeia. His stock has just been rising, this year. And I think Mason did a great job of just pulling the rabbit out of the hat and scoring at the end. And then one of the only guys to win at Penn State and Bryce Jordan Arena, which is a grueling place to win over the #1 guy in the country. So no stranger to big environments, and, having those under his belt going to the Big Ten tournament, probably going to be the #1 seed, undisputably. But I think it's going to be a huge, huge, huge thing for him going to that Big Ten tournament with those 2 wins under his belt. Because sometimes you don't see these guys. I think wrestling Ohio State, Iowa, Penn State, all in the regular season, so you're familiar with these faces. And I think sometimes that can shock a lot of guys. You don't see a guy from Minnesota. You don't see a guy from Indiana. He gets another takedown as I'm talking. I can't even keep up with the match. But, Michigan had a tough schedule this year, and I think it's really good for them to have that tough schedule, just like Central, where you've seen a lot of these guys. So it's no surprise when you see a guy at the Big Ten tournament that you've wrestled already this year. Maybe you lost, maybe you've won. But familiarity is definitely a thing that helps you going into that Big Ten and national tournament. So there's nothing crazy to expect. Another takedown.
2 more for Mason Parris.
Well, I said I want to see all 7 minutes. I think we're going to get all 7 minutes.
Yes.
But
and you're likely going to get more than 4 minutes of that being ride time.
Yeah.
This has been clinical as expected for Mason Parris.
Yeah, I'd love to see him finish off with a fall.
He's got 40 seconds with which to work.
1 point skate for Central Michigan.
Yeah, Mason just putting on a show here.
30 seconds.
Nice. Oh, beautiful. Nothing there, but good job by Caves.
Yeah, he's hanging tough.
Yeah, he is.
Bright future for this young man up in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah,
Final moments of this
easy
senior
task.
day.
No easy task. Mason Parris, a lot of guys that wouldn't step on the mat with him, let alone compete. And another takedown by Parris.
A fitting cap to a dominant performance from Mason Parris. Win number 116, and he's 25-0 heading into the Big Ten Championships in a couple of weeks here in Ann Arbor.